The number one YouTuber pushing this Latinos didn't help create hip hop false narrative is Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar has gone on and on saying FBA are the sole creators of hip hop. Latinos, Puerto Ricans had nothing to do with the creation of hip hop. Well, I just came across a clip, and thanks to the listener who DM'd it to me, because I would have never found this. I just got a clip of Lord Jamar saying the exact opposite. In fact, I am about to play a clip from 4 years ago of Lord Jamar saying Puerto Ricans are black. A lot of you FBA are about to start punching the air right now like Trey was doing them Boys in the Hood. Let's go back 4 years ago when Lord Jamar was on a little-known podcast titled Drink Champs.
First of all, Latinos was down with this shit from the beginning. Okay, shout out people like Prince Whipple Whip. Okay, shout out Charlie Chase. Shout out motherfucking
Crazy Legs.
What's my nigga from Crazy Legs? Shout out my niggas from the Furious 5, Tito. You know what I mean? Niggas like that, like Puerto Ricans and all of that. First of all, they're black people. Let's not get it twisted. Like we got dropped off at different islands and shit like that.
Cubans
it all started.
Cubans is blacker than me.
It all started in Africa, okay? Right. Now, when you're on an island, though, the grafting process goes faster because you have a smaller geographical area. So, if the slave master starts intertwining with
phone that is,
with the slaves, they're gonna get lighter and lighter at a faster rate. Whereas in America, it's a bigger geographical area, so. You know, the slave master was definitely intertwining, but it was spread out more. Right. Whereas you have certain islands where they just damn near try to milk it all the way. They try to graft it like the shit was Patmos. Right. You understand? So, Puerto Ricans, Hispanics have been down with this from the beginning, and I don't separate Puerto Ricans and Hispanic. So when I say this,
we want answers, Lord Jamar. The FBA community, which I guess I'm part of too, whether I like it or not. I guess that's how that works. But we want answers, Lord Jamar. Because he's one of the only ones, and I'm not coming at Lord Jamar. I do kind of dig what he does, except when he goes on that flat Earth stuff, and then he goes on a podcast where someone who's knows about the subject a lot more than he does, grills him on it and makes him look like a silly guy. But I'm not going at Lord Jamar because I do, for the most part, like what he does. I like Brand Nubian back in the day. You better love me or leave me alone. That was them, right? But we want answers, Lord Jamar, because all I've been hearing you say for the past, I don't know, year, two, go 2, right? Last 2 years is that Latinos weren't even around. They were someplace else playing bongos and stuff like that. But here you are on the Drink Champs with Nori saying something totally different.
So when I say this, first of all, Latinos was down with this shit from the beginning. Okay, shout out people like Prince Whipple Whip. Okay, shout out Charlie Chase. Shout out motherfucking
Crazy Legs.
What's my nigga from Crazy Legs? Shout out my niggas from the Furious 5, Tito. You know what I mean? Niggas like that, like Puerto Ricans and all of that. First of all, they're black people. Let's not get it twisted.
I mean, this is something that I've always thought and always known myself. But I feel like I've been hearing Lord Jamar say something totally different these last couple of years. and this may not be exposing Lord Jamar. I'm sure many people have already came across this clip. And like I said, no one else has ever talked about it, at least to my knowledge, on YouTube. And I did a thorough search before I hopped in this mic. But I think it's very contradictory to what he is saying now, that Latinos weren't around. They were somewhere wearing cowboy boots and tight rolled up pants and playing merengue and like what. When he says something totally different, here.
First of all, Latinos was down with this shit from the beginning. Okay?
Down from the beginning. Doesn't get much more clear than that. How can someone who's been down from the beginning, because beginning has a specific definition, right? The beginning is the beginning. Because do I need to go to dictionary.com? There's only one definition. How is someone going to be there from the beginning but have zero influence on it? Make that make sense, Lord Jamar. Make it make sense, fam. Make that comment make sense.
First of all, Latinos was down with this shit from the beginning. Okay? Shout out people like Prince Whipple Whip. Okay? Shout out Charlie Chase. Shout out motherfucking
Crazy Legs.
What's my nigga from Crazy Legs? Shout out my niggas from the Furious 5, Tito. You know what I mean?
He just mentioned a bunch of pioneers and pioneering groups. Furious 5. They're from the beginning. Latinos in groups, Latinos in breaking groups and graffiti groups. But what? But they had zero influence on the creation, on the direction, on anything hip hop? Is that what you're telling me, Lord Jamar? Or are you telling
First of all, Latinos was down with this shit from the beginning. Okay? Shout out people like Prince Whipple Whip. Okay? Shout out Charlie Chase. Shout out motherfucking
Crazy Legs.
What's my nigga from Crazy Legs? Shout out my niggas from the Furious 5, Tito. You know what I mean? Niggas like that. Like
But now it's Puerto Ricans had zero influence on hip hop. When in this clip, he clearly says they were there from the beginning. And not only that,
Puerto Ricans and all of that. First of all, they're black people.
Yeah.
Let's not get it twisted.
let's not get it twisted. Puerto Ricans are black. This is something that I grew up knowing myself. I've known a lot of Puerto Ricans. And they would identify with black over anything, over white any day. But you let this group called FBA, you let them tell it, and Latinos didn't like blacks. They didn't like the black culture. They were nowhere near us. They hated. They were calling us mean words. And some probably were. But if you were a teenager in 1973 in mother effing NYC, specifically the Bronx, if you were a teenager, you were involved and you loved this thing that will be later called hip hop. So stop with this false narrative, FBA. Your leader, and I'm only calling him your leader because he's the main one I see on YouTube with this narrative. There are other YouTubers out there, even certain ones who keep my name in their mouth that I could mention, but they're not like, no one really cares about them and like no one would know who they are. But people know who Lord Jamar is. from his music and from his popular YouTube channel. Here's your leader saying,
first of all, Latinos was down with this shit from the beginning. Okay, shout out people like Prince Whipple Whip. Okay, shout out Charlie Chase. Shout out motherfucking
Crazy Legs.
What's my nigga for? Crazy Legs. Shout out my niggas from the Furious 5, Tito. You know what I mean? Niggas like that, like Puerto Ricans and all of that. First of all, they're black people. Let's not get it twisted. Like,
I'm gonna stop it right there. And I would love your comments below, and I know you're gonna comment below because you have nothing better to do than to go on YouTube and talk trash and watch videos that upset you so much that you feel the need to comment below. So go ahead, get your kicks off, you YouTube gangsters, you keyboard killers. Come at me, talk to me. Am I tripping? Let me know. Do you agree with me? But what do you think about Lord Jamar saying 4 years ago that Latinos were down since the beginning? Something that him and this group called FBA are saying that no, they weren't around. They weren't around. But comment down below. Let me know. And please hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button.